Right, Rory McIlroy, thanks for joining us here for a few minutes with the media here at the BMW Championship at Wilmington Country Club. You've just come off the Pro-Am. You've had a couple of looks at the golf course, I guess. Just
a couple.
Just talk about what your first impressions are of the place.
Yeah, it's a good golf course. It's a golf course that sort of is a little more up my alley compared to, say, last week in Memphis. I was a little rusty last week as well, but a lot more drivers off the tee. A lot more drivers off the tee. That's the tournament chairman anyway. It's all right. It's fine. He's the tournament chair. It's okay. A lot of room off the tee. A lot more, scope to hit driver. Length is an advantage here, where in Memphis it's not really. Sort of just, my sort of golf course that I feel like I can excel on. So it's been good to have some early looks at it. I got here Friday night after the missed cut, and I've been here. So I've been on the course every day since Saturday. But it's been good. It's nice to get back out and prepare and get to know a new golf course, get a little bit of a head start on everyone else. And, I like the track. It's a good setup.
You probably feel like a member now. Just before we jump into other questions, I know you made a youngster happy today. You granted a wish for a Make-A-Wish youngster, Killian. Can you just talk about that experience today and what it meant to him as well?
Yeah, I think one of the coolest things, if not the coolest thing, that happens when you get some notoriety or you've had some success is the fact that you can make someone's day very easily. To play the 15th hole and have Killian walk down there, have him hit a hell of a shot too, 7-iron from 190, baby draw to like 12 feet. I think it's just a really cool part of what we do, and the fact that people look up to us for some reason, and to be able to just make someone's day by not really going out of your way that much to do anything different. It's a really cool feeling, and hopefully Killian enjoyed it as much as I did. But he was under a little bit of pressure there with the tee shot, and he stepped up and hit a great shot. So it was a really cool moment.
Terrific. Okay, we'll take some questions. Brian, you go first.
Why did you opt to stay in Wilmington since Friday, and I guess how did you spend your time when you weren't playing golf?
My family are in upstate New York, and they were at their cabin, and I wasn't going to, if I went there, I wouldn't have been practicing or playing, and the one thing I needed to do was practice and play. And I just thought, looking at the weather forecast, the environment to practice and play was better here than it was in Memphis, just from a heat standpoint and draining myself and whatever. So just came straight here on Friday night and got back to work on Saturday.
Just by yourself?
Me and Harry. Yeah.
Yep, just use it. You go, sir.
Yeah, Rory, what specifically about this golf course you think makes it so that suits your eye? Because it's very different from both Memphis, as you mentioned, and then East Lake next week, because it's much longer, much bigger greens, much bigger golf course.
Yeah, it's if you look at the trend of the golf courses at the BMW Championship over the last few years, they've been predominantly golf courses similar to this. Longer golf courses, room to hit driver, big greens. I'm thinking of like Caves Valley last year, for example. I don't think the scoring is going to be quite as low here as it was at Caves, but similar sort of golf courses, these sort of big northeast style golf courses. And they've sort of, they're great venues to play tournaments on, and they're, big pieces of land, so you can hold big tournaments here with the infrastructure. So, and that's, they're the sort of golf courses that I typically do well on.
Ergo courses that allow you to hit at 330, correct?
Yeah, exactly. Where I can actually have, my length be an advantage.
Mm-hmm. And then it seems like the tour makes it out to Philly about every 4 years, right now. How's it feel to be back in the Philly area?
Yeah, it's good. I guess the last time was probably Aronimink in 2018. hopefully we get better weather this week than we did then. It was a little wet, but yeah, it's good to be back. I mean, this is how bad my knowledge of the area is. We landed in Philly, and I was like, that seems like it's a long way away, and it's only a 25-minute drive to here, so it sort of shows you how my knowledge is of the area. But yeah, it's good to be back.
Join the club. There's a lot of interest, obviously, in the meeting last night. What can you share with us in terms of what came out of it and where you hope to go?
I think the one thing that came out of it, which I think was the purpose, is all the top players on this tour are in agreement and alignment of where we should go going forward, and that was awesome.
Where should you go?
That's not for. I don't think that's for a public forum right now. Okay. I think that's between the players and between the executives at the tour to try to sort of manage a way forward.
Let me ask it in a different way, because over the last month or so we've heard different generic comments about what needs to improve or how the tour needs to get better, etc. Without anything getting into any details, what would you say is kind of the one general area where you feel the tour is lacking?
We need to get the top guys together more often than we do.
But aren't there featured pairings? And
no, I'm talking about all in the same tournament, all in the same weeks.
Okay, thanks.
Rory, what about Tiger's presence in person? I mean, obviously he could have done this by phone, Zoom. The fact that he flew up here, what does it say?
It's impactful,
yeah.
And I think it shows how much he cares about the tour. I think it shows how much he cares about the players that are coming through and are going to be the next generation. Like it or not, they can't really sell Tiger Woods anymore. Tour had an easy job for 20 years. They don't have Tiger anymore. Yes, they've got a bunch of us and we're all great players, but we're not Tiger Woods. So, we're moving into a different era, and we just have to think about things a little differently.
So what role does Tiger play then?
I mean, he's the hero that we've all looked up to, and his voice carries further than anyone else's in the game of golf. And his role is navigating us to a place where we all think we should be.
So, is his impact greater on the tour or on players? And I think I'm speaking mostly of the ones coming in behind you, even.
It's both. I think he's carried the tour for a long, long time. I think we, as players that were his contemporaries that are a little older than me, but even the guys that are coming behind, we've all benefited from that. Mm-hmm. But as I said, how can we keep benefiting from that going forward?
Okay.
Did Tiger take like a leadership position, or was he just one of the guys talking when you guys all met? I
mean, I think it's pretty apparent that whenever we all get in the room, there's an alpha in there, yeah. And it's not me.
Are you surprised at all that he's taken this on?
No. He cares a lot. Yeah. He cares a lot.
Right. Thanks, Rory.
Rory, sports fans tend to be an impatient bunch. Were there actionable steps potentially taken from what you guys discussed for 3+ hours last night?
That's what we're working through, right? What's the short term? What's the medium term? What's the long term? And that's something that we have to figure out.
Have you? I've got another one. One more. Have you learned in your years the value of this tournament as it relates to next week? In other words, there's people who are locked in, sure, but there's also the.
Yeah.
What were you last year? 5 behind or something?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. All the years get mixed up.
I know.
Where did I finish here in 2019 though? Yeah, well, in 20 I won the FedEx Cup in 2019. I feel like I was like 4 back, so, maybe.
Yeah.
But but it's a very important tournament to put yourself in position, especially with the way the format is next week with, you know, the staggered start. Yeah, it's really important. The closer you can start to that 10 under par mark, the better.
Okay, thanks, Rory. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.